Welcome in to 76ers Now. I am Jake Chipper, and on today's show, we finally got an update on Jared McCain's recovery from his meniscus injury, and it is good news coming from the man himself. Plus, the Sixers working out a former Kansas big man who put up some lofty numbers in college. We haven't heard too much in terms of Sixers draft workouts, but we did get this one confirmed. Now, before we get to these two topics here today, we are starting a like battle for this week between us here at 76ers Now and those frauds over at Celtics Today, trying to see who can get more likes on all their videos this week. I know Sixers fans way more passionate and way more invested in their team than Celtics fans. So let's prove it here in the walls at Chat Sports. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and let's beat down on those Boston Celtics. So let's get to Jared McCain and his injury recovery. Of course, tore his left meniscus earlier in the year, had surgery in December, and obviously did not play again the rest of this season. We have really yet to hear a formal update from the Sixers on McCain's injury, but he did come out and say just the other day his recovery is going great. Here's exactly what McCain had to say on his recovery. It's been going great. I just started taking actual jump shots. I've been doing a lot of no jump for months and months now. It feels really nice to actually get out there and jump and do some more running, doing a skip, just random things you take for granted when you're fully healthy. But it's coming along great, and I'm getting there. McCain was also asked if he sees himself maybe playing in the summer league, and he said, "I don't know 100% yet. We'll see in the coming few weeks." This, to me, might have been the biggest part of what McCain had to say regarding his injury, the fact that there's a chance he could be playing in the summer league. Now, 2025 Las Vegas Summer League takes place July 10th through July 20th. That's in just about a month here as we record this on June 16th. So if he's saying there's a chance he could be ready to be on the court playing actual basketball in about a month, well, to me, that's a great sign for where his recovery is at right now. I know a lot of you have been asking, what's going on with McCain? What's going on with McCain? And we haven't heard a lot, but the fact that he says he might be able to play in summer league and he's jumping and doing these things. I also went through a knee surgery. Obviously, I'm not a professional athlete like Jared McCain is, but when you're able to come back and start doing some of these activities like jumping, and he said, even just doing things you take for granted like skipping, it really is a big step forward in the recovery. So I think McCain should be 100% ready to go by the season opener, especially if he's playing in summer league. Now, I personally don't think I would play him in summer league. It's not like he needs to go out there and show you and prove things that he didn't prove last year. Of course, in those 20 games he played, he was very good. Over 15 points, two and a half rebounds, 2.5 assists, 46% from the field, over 38% from three. Right? He showed a lot of flashes. So you don't need him to go out there and say, man, you didn't really show us anything. We still need to see more from you. I think you rest him for summer league, get him back to 100% for the start of the regular season, and he could be that scoring punch six-man off the bench for this team heading into next year. So predict it for me. You just saw the numbers that McCain put up last season. What do you think he'll average points-wise next season? Over or under 16.5 points per game? I'm going to go over. I think he can come in right around 17.8, 18 points per game next season. But you let me know. O for over, U for under. And let's hope Jared McCain can keep covering and his recovery keeps going well as we approach the start of next season. And speaking of Jared McCain, if you have yet to get a jersey, maybe you're planning on it, then you went down and you forgot or you weren't able to get one back during the season, well, there's no better time than right now to go get yourself a Jared McCain jersey as he comes off the injury, because they are now 25% off, down from about $80 to about $60. It's about $20 off right there, and it won't last forever, that deal. So if you go to chatsports.com/McCain, that'll take you to Fanatics. You'll see the deal applied, and you can get your Jared McCain jersey in any different size you might want. That link will be in the comments and description of today's show. Again, chatsports.com/McCain. Go get yourself a Jared McCain jersey today. All right, so now we get to the back half of today's show as the Sixers confirmed to be bringing in Hunter Dickinson, former Michigan Wolverine and Kansas Jayhawk, for a pre-draft workout. We haven't heard a lot regarding the Sixers' really draft strategy at all in general, or their pre-draft workouts either. As of, again, today's Monday, June 16th, only 4 confirmed workouts for Daryl Morey and the Sixers. Now, that doesn't mean they haven't been working out other guys. It just means it's been really close to the vest, right? They haven't wanted other teams to know what guys they're bringing in for workouts. And we still do have over a week until the draft. Workouts will go throughout the rest of this week leading into next. Now, we know they worked out Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe, of course, or I believe Ace is coming this week. VJ already happened. They did work out John Blackwell, guard out of Wisconsin, back a few weeks ago, but he actually ended up returning to school, so no need to talk about him as a potential draft prospect. But Hunter Dickinson, the center out of Kansas, some of you might be familiar with him. He was a pretty well-known player in college and spent a lot of time in the college ranks. So let's talk about it. Is he someone the Sixers, could target in the draft? So it's a 7'2" center, 265 pounds. I know a lot of you will be excited about that. The Sixers maybe bring in somebody with more size who can be a backup center behind Joel Embiid. Now, he is 24 years old, and he was a fifth-year senior this year. He has been playing college hoops for a long, long time and started his career with Michigan, where he came in and really made an impact right away. You can see averaging 14 and 7 on nearly 60% shooting in his freshman year. Numbers went up and up his sophomore and junior years with Michigan, up to 18.5 and 9 rebounds in that third year. Then he transfers over to Kansas, where been pretty much the same player the last few years with Kansas. These teams have really disappointed, to be honest, with him as sort of their star player. He did start taking a little bit more shots from behind the arc, about two 3-pointers a game, connected on about 35% 2 years ago, just 27 last season. But you can see about a 17 and 10 guy with about a block a game, pretty standard for his production in college. Now, where he does excel, a very old school, typical, early 2000s kind of center, a guy who's a polished post scorer. Of course, he spent so much time in college working on his game or finding his skill set. He has become a very solid post scorer, especially against, a lot of guys in college that frankly just cannot compete with his size like guys in the NBA might be able to. An absolute rebounding machine, again, playing against guys that are a lot smaller, a lot less experienced than he is, so he's done a good job on the glass. He's a strong screen setter as well, someone who uses that big frame. That's really his main skill set, is his big frame, which allows him to dominate college in a few different ways. But in my opinion, guys, Hunter Dickinson, I don't think is a draftable player, and we'll get into his weaknesses here in just a second. But it's so funny, right over the past few weeks as we're leading up to this draft season, people are talking about Hunter Dickinson as a guy who probably isn't going to get drafted. And, I've seen Kansas fans talking about how he's just not an NBA prospect. And then he goes out and signs a deal with LinkedIn. And everyone's like, oh, it's time for Hunter Dickinson to get a job. He's going to have to go on the real job market, find an actual job just like the rest of us. He's not an NBA guy. And look, I don't think he is an NBA guy. And it's just funny that he ended up inking this sponsorship deal, because I do think he's not really going to be an NBA player. Could go play overseas, but he has a lot of concerns that just don't allow him or project him to be a very successful center in today's NBA. He's just a very, very limited athlete, someone who really struggles in space on offense, and especially on the defensive side of the floor. It really contributes to him being a very, very poor defender. He's not going to be a great shot blocker in the NBA. And again, he's just so slow. His feet are like they're stuck in mud most times. So him guarding pick and rolls, it's going to be an absolute disaster. He's not a floor spacer either. I know he started to show a little bit more as a jump shooter in his last couple of years in college, and the form doesn't look all that bad, but not something I really project to develop in his game. He's also very turnover prone with the ball in his hands. And he's going to be 25 this year, right? So it's not like he has much room to grow. He kind of is what he is at this point. So just not a modern NBA big, in my opinion. And I don't think he'll be able to score in the post or rebound like he did in college in the NBA, because he's going up against guys that are actually his size and way more athletic than him. Now, he is a very accomplished player, 2-time All-American second team. He's the 14th player in NCAA history with 1,000-plus points at multiple different schools, of course, Michigan and Kansas. He's top 26 all-time in the NCAA in points and rebounds. And, of course, he was with Michigan, 3-time All-Big Ten second team, goes to Kansas, where he made the All-Big 12 first team twice. But, again, not a guy I think Philly should be targeting in the draft. Maybe you take a flyer as a UDFA, and you pick him up, you bring him into the building and see if his interior skills can translate, but I just don't see it with Hunter Dickinson. At the very least, it is encouraging Philadelphia is looking at big men here. We know it's a position they'll need to address, because I think they should be moving on from Andre Drummond in the offseason. So you have Embiid. Never know what's going on with him. You have Adembona, who looked really good, but I think you need one more guy in there. And preferably, I'd like to draft somebody in the second round. But with pick 35, that is way, way too high to be selecting Hunter Dickinson. So more of a guy to watch for after the draft when the Sixers bring in some guys, maybe for Summer League and the UDFA market, things like that. But again, Hunter Dickinson working out with the Sixers. Do not expect him to be on their radar, though, come draft night. Speaking of draft night, we will be live for the 2025 NBA draft, both round 1 and round 2, which is now 2 separate days. It'll start on Wednesday, June 25th, and then, of course, Thursday, June 26th. So be sure to join the channel. The best Sixers coverage you will find here on YouTube. And the best part, it is 100% free. All you got to do is hit that sub button. It costs you absolutely nothing, and you can stay up to date on everything going on with your Philadelphia 76ers.